Hello and welcome to the third episode of our new show Talks Without Borders. In the last show we talked in Serbian and it was all translated into English, but this time we will talk with our guests in English and it will be translated for you to Serbian. Today we're traveling abroad, again across the border, and we'll travel to a country which is very important. Its cultural heritage is very important, but it's also very well known for fine foods. It's a country where it can be very warm, but you can also go skiing there, and you can also go sightseeing and visit a lot of important museums with a lot of important artifacts. It is a country shaped like a boot, so if you've already guessed, we're going to Italy. My today's guests are both journalists. Their names are Albertom Mangilijem and Anđelom Krstić, and we will talk to them about their experiences living in Italy, but also Alberto has been in Serbia, so he will share a little bit about his experience as well. Stay with us for the next 20 minutes, and remember, the fourth episode will also be with them. Okay, Alberto and Anđela, thank you for participating in our show. And firstly, I would kindly like to ask you to introduce yourself, what you are doing, and what is your experience living in Italy. Who would like to start?
Ladies first.
Okay, Anđela.
Yes, my name is Anđelom Krstić. I'm 24 years old. I graduated from college last year and I studied Italian language and literature, which I will be continuing in a few weeks on my master's. And I've recently become a journalist for the Italian audience, and I'll be starting in just a couple of days after all the contracts have been signed. I also went to an Erasmus exchange program to live in Italy, and I've also lived in Italy before when I was younger, so it's been, several trips to Italy throughout my life.
So you have a kind of back and forth relationship with Italy.
Yes, it's a complicated relationship, and but it's two-sided. So yeah, we love each other, the country and I.
Okay, so we had a love story, and Alberto?
Yes.
My name is Albertom Mangilijem. I'm 25 years old. I'm a journalist too. I recently graduated with a master's degree in communication, information and publishing. I spent my last year with Poland, working with the Italian Institute of Culture and of Warsaw. And now I work as a journalist also with Poland, so I'm happy with this, of course. And now I'm going to start a postgraduate in tourism management in half of October. I will spend 2 months in Milan studying. And then from January, I have an experience abroad, a 6 months internship. I will see where I will go, but of course, I open to every option. So I will decide this, of course.
So for you two, the world is still very widely open. That's what I can see from both your introductions. But what is interesting that you both had experience going to exchange programs. So why did you decide to do that, and how did you decide on the country, and what was your experience like? Can you describe it in detail for us?
Are we still going ladies first, or?
It's the same.
If
you want, as you want, but maybe you have a better answer for this, because I just want to say that it's good your question, but I never had Erasmus programs because I was too much in love with Bergamo, with my city, my university. So I always traveled a lot, but I properly decided to not having Erasmus, to spend 5 years studying there. But as you know, of course, I had many other experiences abroad, but not with studying with university, but maybe internships or travels.
Yes, we can talk also about internships. It's also a type of exchange.
Yeah, maybe the most important one was last year internship in Warsaw from September to November 2020. But I had to come back before, and I had part of this one remotely because situation in Poland and in Warsaw was not so good. But then I spent the next month doing my thesis on about the institute, working remotely, and it was a long work. And in June now I got my degree. Then I came back this summer in Poland. I spent so much time there, and now my experience with Poland is going on, of course, even if I will be here in Italy for the next month.
Okay, we'll get back to your experiences in Poland, definitely. But Angela, can you describe yours?
Yes, going on an exchange program, I was kind of talked into it by my high school Italian professor, who told me as soon as you start your studies, go and become a member of Erasmus however you can. And I've had the luck that my professors in Kragujevac were very kind and very supportive, and they also supported my decision to go on an exchange program. They even suggested Rome because they were familiar with the study plan. And so they just said, you know, it's similar to ours, we can easily convert the grades. Just, we will give you some recommendations, and you just need to apply and do your best. And they were there with me with, you know, in every step of the way, which I'm very, very thankful for. And, you know, the students that had previously been to the same exchange program were very helpful with, you know, finding an apartment, or, you know, just creating my contract and all the courses I wanted to follow. They were so helpful. So in the end, when I got accepted, I remember the day I just woke up and I went through my emails and I found my acceptance letter, and I was so happy to have been admitted. So then, you know, the process starts. You need to collect all these documents, you need to plan, you need to pack, you need to do everything. I also had the luck that one of the students that were admitted into the program reached out to me, and she was also studying in Kragujevac. She was studying medicine. And we went out for a coffee. We found that we were very compatible, and we decided to be flatmates. And we also kind of connected with all of the other Serbian students that were admitted in the same program. And we were all, you know, just a little family, like a little safety net that we had, that, you know, when we would be in Italy, we would support each other. And in the end, it wasn't even that necessary to have a safety net. I mean, of course, we were there for each other when any one of us would get sick or need anything, we would be there for each other. But then again, we met so many kind and lovely people, and we keep in touch to this day. I mean, not from the Balkans, of course, we've had many Balkan friends, but then some of my best friends were French and Belgium. And just a few days ago, we talked again, and we just, during these tough times, we also talked, like every now and then we would ask, so how is everybody doing? Is everybody okay? Did no one get sick? And they're very kind. And as far as my studies go, I could talk for days about my Erasmus. I'm that one person who goes to study abroad, and then when they come back, every other sentence is like, oh, so, you know, when I studied abroad, I did this, this, and this. And the classes, I took them all in Italian, and they were tough, but I also enjoyed learning, because I found, you know, the opportunity. I had the opportunity, so I would just, you know, take it as it is. And their study plan is different than ours, and I noticed they concentrate on books much more than we do. We do, oh my god, I'm so sorry, we do more
We have
practice.
a cat intruder.
Yeah, cat intruder.
That is
Hi.
completely fine.
Yes, I'm sorry, she's used to being the center of attention. So yes, hello. What was I talking about? Yes, we're more concentrated on practicing what we've learned, while they're more concentrated on just the professor speaking, and we would learn the program. But then it was all really fine, and oh my god, I missed the Roman landmarks and everything I saw, because everywhere you go you have something to see, and it was amazing. Like, I would just go outside of my house and see the San Lorenzo Square, which was very tiny compared to the Campo de Fiori or any other bigger square in Rome. But then again, it was also beautiful, and it also had something to offer. So even after 6 months in Rome, I still can confirm I haven't saw that much, because for Rome, not even people who live there for years, for 10 to 15 years, they do not see the entire beauty of Rome. And of course, as you mentioned, the food was amazing. The cafeteria food was also really, really good, which, in most of countries, when you say cafeteria, people just make a face like, yeah, cafeteria. Everything was good. Like, I miss everything. Even the bagged risotto from Lidl's that you would cook instantly, yeah, I miss that too. Everything was just amazing.
So, Angela, you, as I can see, are completely mesmerized with your experience.
Yes.
And yes, so Rome is a city with a lot of hidden gems and a lot of hidden gardens and everything, which is very beautiful. And it's no wonder people from there say it is the center of the world. But Alberto, how was your experience living in Poland? Because it's a different type of country. Are you as mesmerized as Angela, or what was your daily experience?
Yeah, I was completely in love with Poland because my concrete experience with Poland started in 5 years ago, 2017, with Warsaw, and it was a really good trip of a few days. And then when I had to decide where to have this internship, because there was a national call, and I won the Warsaw one because I decided to go there. And I was quite happy, of course, because I always had some type of bond with Poland, and I had the opportunity to empower this bond. And the most beautiful thing, I think, is was to find a completely different city in just 3 years, and is a developing city, and with of course, we all know the history of Poland and Warsaw in particular, so it's crazy for me to feel that atmosphere. And I don't like when people maybe tell that Warsaw is not good, because I think we always have to remember what happened. But Poland is crazy at all, because there are many things. There is of course, I my favorite country has to be Italy, of course. But what you said in the introduction could be shared also with Poland, because there are mountains, there is sea, and particularly last month I had the opportunity to do everything. So going to mountains, for example, Tatra Mountains, or having a swim in the Baltic Sea. So, of course, Poland is maybe sometimes brutally underrated country, but I think that here we can have this idea, of course, to find the really good in each country, because each country, I think, has some hidden treasures. Not only Rome, not only Warsaw, but I think everywhere we can find something great and amazing.
I completely agree, and this is what is our idea, to share experiences from different countries and see what was the best thing, what was the weirdest experience for you, what is something you didn't expect, and so on. But these are the things that we will mostly talk in our next episode. In this episode, I would like to ask you, was it difficult for you for the whole process of going to another country, to be there for some time? Is it easy? Is it accessible for everyone? Or is it something that's maybe difficult?
Well, speaking as a Serbian who went to Italy, at the moment when I was going to Italy, we had a quite large scholarship from Erasmus. I think that has changed, that the amount now is smaller, but at the moment we had 850 euros, and it was just about enough. I mean, yes, the housing in Rome, it was quite expensive, but we managed to find a way because there is always a student network that will provide help for you. And the rest of the 400 euros I think was very manageable for me. But the whole process of just, going there, you had to take up so many documents that were required and then go through the application process. And you had to have a lot of nerves and patience throughout the whole process. But then again, it pays off in the end. And I don't even want to mention the packing, finding the right suitcase, the right size that would fit clothes for 6 months, because I, for example, did not have the luxury of going back to Serbia and leaving a bunch of things and then taking another half of clothes. No, I just had to prepare for this, one trip to Italy and back to Serbia. So I had to just do the research on the Italian weather and how actually Rome is. And I needed a coat and sweaters, but then again, some skirts and dresses because Rome was very hot later during the year. I mean, I went from February to July, so it was, quite a specific period of time. And also I had to leave up some space because I wanted to bring with me some books and some clothes, some memorabilia, and it all had to fit through the airport because I was not going by bus, I was going by plane. So that was quite difficult. But then in the end, again, I think it all pays off. And there's a whole story about how I came to the airport and then the whole journey of just finding my apartment. Like, not even my Serbian friends who were already there could help me, because we would say, okay, let's meet at the Tiburtina station. And my friend would say, Angela, do you know how big Tiburtina station is? Like, I do not know where to begin to search for you. So it was quite a journey.
Okay, so that's something that brings us to the topic of differences of what we're expecting and what we come to see. And Alberto, what is your opinion?
No, I had a sort of flash when she talked about weather. I remember, for example, to talk about Belgrade because I was in Serbia too 3 years ago, 3 summers ago. Of course, summer because weather was extremely hot over my expectations. So I remember I went to I don't remember a shopping center in Belgrade, but over one bridge, and I went there to buy something more fresher than a normal shirt because I was completely dying for a hot weather. But I, of course, have a great memory of that trip, even if it was so quick because I didn't have so much time. And as I said, never been in Erasmus, but I remember that on that trip, when I was coming back from Belgrade, I remember I was studying for an exam. So I always try to build my trips in my life because there was also sport and other things. So, but at the end, I managed to have great experiences. And of course, the Serbian trip was so good. And now with the director of Serbian Italian Institute of Culture in Serbia, which was my director in Warsaw, of course, I know that in future, I don't know when, but I will come back to Belgrade and Serbia, of course, for that.
And then we'll meet in person and not like this, definitely. Since we are approaching the end of our episode, do you think that the opportunities like you've had are easily accessible for your peers? Shortly.
I mean, I can only talk from a student's perspective, and I think For Erasmus, yes, it's quite accessible, but it depends on your college because the university has to grab the opportunity, and it depends whether you study in Belgrade or, in my case, in Kragujevac or in Niš, because not everybody had the same opportunities. So it quite, a large amount depends on the university. There is always another option, which is like the internship option that ISEC offers. I know those two organizations are, rivals, but then again, they both offer something different because for ISEC, you get to choose yourself the time period and the country you want to go to, and then the lovely people from ISEC would find an opportunity suited just for you. They will interview you, and then the rest is in their hands. So I think that one is also accessible if you're not a student but just a young person who wants to go and volunteer and do an internship or even teach.
So there are definitely options. That's good to know for our audience especially. Alberto, your point of view?
Yeah, I agree. I think most of the effort is up to us because maybe we have to travel on the internet to find the right offer because maybe there are also not maybe not the most famous channels, but there are many opportunities, of course, of different programs. And I think I've spent half of my summer searching on the internet for something good to continue my growth. At the end, then I decided to stay in Italy and to continue other experiences abroad, but in different way. But of course, I've spotted many of them, and maybe it's volunteering, maybe it's work, internship. But I think that as I introduce my sentence, it's like up to us, of course, to find opportunities because opportunities are everywhere.
Yes, and this is with the message with which we'll leave this episode. Opportunities are everywhere, and there's a space for dialogue everywhere, and we should just grab these opportunities and see where life takes us. Alberto and Angela, thank you for participating in our show. It's really been a pleasure talking to you and meeting you. And I hope that our audience will learn something useful from this talk. So thank you once again.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
No problem. See you next time. And if you want to hear more about Alberto and Angela, just follow Oblakoder and see when the next episode shows up. We'll continue talking with them. Bye.